Welcome to Heart of the Haven, an education series about domestic and family violence and how we can help. It's a pervasive issue that knows no boundaries, impacting people from all walks of life. My name's Samantha Anderson, and I'm from the Haven Nepean Women's Shelter. Today, I'm joined by Sam Campbell, Executive Officer for Client Services from the Haven. Sam brings over 10 years worth of experience and knowledge of working in the domestic and family violence sector, specialising in working with women and children. Together, we'll take you into the heart of change and give you some insights into why it's so difficult for women to leave an abusive perpetrator and how the Haven helps. Thank you, Sam, for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
Excellent. So, why is it really difficult for a woman to leave an abusive partner?
Domestic and family violence is not brief, singular, or quick. A way that I find helpful to describe it to women I work with when I do community outreach events is to imagine that you are showing up to the beach one day. You've got your bag full of things, you set out your chair on the sand, and you walk over to a particular spot of wet sand and you write your name in the sand. Something we do all the time, right? You walk back, sit in your chair, pop your hat on, your sunglasses, and you're looking out on the horizon. You see this huge wave come, and it crashes, washes away your name. You hop back up, you write your name again. You sit back down. Then as you're sitting there for the second time, watching the calmer water lap in and out, you don't notice that your name slowly starts to erode. Lap by lap, wash by wash, you start to disappear. It's not until you look up after about an hour or so and you notice your name's no longer there. You don't bother to get up this time. For women who experience intimate partner violence in particular, it's that slow eroding of self. The tactics of domestic and family violence are often psychologically based and designed by people who perpetrate abuse to erode someone's self-identity, to erode their self-worth and their self-esteem. If it was really quick and sudden, we would see it coming and we would run a mile. And so the fact that it's such a slow release of abusive tactics, and it's this slow pushing of the moral line of someone and the slow eroding of self, means that when you're experiencing it, sometimes you get caught off guard. All of a sudden you think, how did I end up here? How did my name get washed away? So for women, when it comes time for them to leave, it's often a first moment of identifying that this has actually happened, even though it's been going on for a really long time.
Yeah, okay. So, how does a woman then gain that confidence and that conviction to leave?
For each woman, it's a little bit different. I've worked with many women over my career where it's their teenage children or adult children that actually are the ones to go, hey mum, this isn't okay. I've noticed, particularly in the last 5 years, a real increase in young women and boys, that kind of 15, 16, 17-year-old age range. They're on social media, they are more socially aware, and we're doing a lot more programs in schools. So kids and young people are more aware of what domestic and family violence is, of what an unhealthy relationship might look like, and they feel more confident now to say to mum, hey, we've got to do something. When your kids front up to you and say something's wrong, there's often a lot of then conviction for women to be able to go, let's make a change then. Sometimes women have said that they notice their family and friends dropping off. And then when something happens in their life, say they might be ill or they might have something happen with their employment, all of a sudden they turn around to reach out to those family and friends and they're not there anymore. That can be quite a confronting experience, but also a really eye-opening experience that gives women the confidence to leave an abusive partner because they realise, I don't have anybody else and I don't want to be with this person anymore. When it comes to confidence, for some women that I work with, they describe a barrier that he might put in place that really gets to their core. So if he stops them from studying or working or doing something that they love, it's this passion point within them where they go, you can't take that bit. And as I talked about with that analogy of the beach and the washing away, although a lot of themselves have been eroded, for every single human being, there will be one point. But if you touch that, that's going to be the point where I go, no, that's enough. So for every woman, it's a little bit different, but they always come to that point to have something that they can hold on to. And that's something that we then turn into a strength when we start to work with them.
That's incredible. So how does the Haven reach women then when they're in a position to want to leave?
So at the Haven, we do a lot of community-based work. We are a community-based shelter. And what that means is we do schools programs, we work with other local community organisations, so local women's health centres, attend local community events. We're part of local business networks. Reaching out to the community, being part of the community, means that we can talk about what domestic and family violence is, but also what we do at the Haven. Things like this podcast are really helpful to create awareness for people and to know that a service like ours exists and what it's all about. Part of bridging that gap between when a woman decides and has the confidence and conviction to leave and coming to the Haven, or even knowing where to go and what options are there, is about awareness. If we're not in the community, if we're not visible in the community, then how are they going to know where we are or what we have to offer? There's also central statewide homelessness lines, so the DV line linked to home, and that's for any person who's experiencing domestic or family violence or homelessness. And if that person happens to be a woman with or without children, then they get linked up with our service as a potential option to refer to, and we'd get a referral through from those services. We work really, really closely with frontline first responders, in particular the social workers at Nepean Hospital and the domestic and family violence officers at Nepean Police. That's so that when they are responding to a woman straight after an incident, or if she's receiving treatment for an assault, we get that referral straight through. And it's a warm referral that comes through so that police and social workers are giving our caseworkers the information of what's gone on for her and reduces the impact of her having to tell again and again what her experience is.
Yeah, okay. And so what would be that first step that a woman needs to take once she's made that decision that she wants to get out?
Email or call. So we have lots of different options available because we know that women may have an opportunity where they can pick up the phone and call, or they may have an opportunity where they can quickly send off an email, or a friend or a family member could send off an email to reach out to us, see if we have any vacancies, or see if we can just help with what options might be available. It's perfectly okay to call us to just ask what it might look like and what the options are, even if you're not quite ready to take that step. Also reach out to the local community services you might be involved in. You might be involved with a family support service, a local sporting club or group. You yourself might play a sport, or your kids might play a sport. You might be connected to a GP that you trust and have known for quite a while. Reach out to them. We have DV linkers in the community that work in the medical sphere so that they can connect you to services like us. So whenever it is you step outside your doors into the community, be it a service, a group, your kids' school, reach out, ask for help to those people that you trust, no matter what position they're in that organisation.
Yeah.
You can also go along to our website. Our website has all of those statewide numbers that I talked about. They're a really handy starting point, and there's lots of information on our website too, with some questions that women typically would have about what to expect or what might be available for them.
Thank you so much, Sam, for sharing with us today. One of my key takeaways has been the fact that a lot of teenagers are actually going to their mum and saying, hey, it's time to leave. This is not okay. Or there's something so sacred to the woman that it's like that last piece that she's holding to herself, of herself, and she doesn't want that gone too. And that's that inspirational motivation to go. And it's a very courageous thing to do. It's the unknown and it's scary, despite it all being scary. So thank you so much, Sam, for your time. Thank you for sharing with us. And I do want to reach out to our audience and say, if you need support or you know someone who needs support, please visit our website, www.thehaven.org.au. We have our contacts page there that lists a range of services that can help, including our own, The Haven. So thank you so much for your time. It's been a pleasure.